screen here. There we go. I'm Ian Corzine, your social media lawyer, and welcome to Saturday's live stream. I'm here today to answer your questions about social media. I spend my days working with social media creators and consults and other types of meetings, and I advise them basically on the rules and the laws that are applicable to social media, help them with brand deals, help them with really their businesses, and also a lot of other social media subjects. A lot of them reach out and ask questions about the future of social media. They give me their business plan and say, hey, listen, this is what I'm thinking about doing, starting a channel, starting a Instagram account, maybe going to TikTok. What do you see as the future successful business plan for this? And so I give them my 2 cents. And if you'd ever like to speak with me directly, just remember to go to iancorzine.com. You can go up into the upper right-hand corner and schedule a consult with me. And we can get on the calendar and talk it out, whether it be your business plan, whether it be some brand coming to you with a opportunity to make you some money, whether it be with some affiliate links. I just recently did a live stream on Wednesday all about the rules that you need to know for your affiliate links. People sometimes just throw them on their description section and they say whatever, but they don't understand about the FTC and the GDPR and the problems with if you don't have these specific things like an affiliate disclaimer or a privacy policy, you could be fined, you could be sued. So we did that live stream on Wednesday. I made a really short video published on Friday, which went over those rules and also provided you with a free affiliate disclaimer, which I'm going to put a link in the description section of this video also, as well as a link to the privacy policy to my website. And what I mean by that is that my website has legal templates for sale there. I have kind of a YouTube starter kit and some other packages that are available. And if you go onto iancorzine.com and let's say you want to set up this new YouTube channel, let's say you want to set up this new TikTok channel, no problem. Just go there and look at my packages that are available and you will have all the legal documents you need to make sure that not only you succeed on those platforms, but also you protect your interests. Because these days, your channel, your account is your moneymaker. And if you don't protect it now for pretty low cost, you could be facing some many thousands in fines or potential lawsuits and those kinds of things. So today, again, it's the Saturday live stream. I'm here to answer any and all of your legal questions. Focus on social media, but whatever, let it fly. I'm happy to answer. First of all, I want to say hi to some people that are online right now. We have Mr. Vigia is here. He has legality and illegality is just a human construct, Ian Corzine. Laws and morality don't mix. I don't know if they don't mix. I do think that there's impact. You can certainly see in our laws, having spent a lot of time over 20 years focusing on US laws and seeing how they're derivative of English laws, I do think that there is some interplay between laws and morality. Matter of fact, I think that most of our morals, our fundamental morals, are embodied in our laws. So, yeah, I think it's important to understand the distinction because legality is just something that is created by humans, whereas morals may be, derivative of a higher power or whoever you believe in as being the creator of our universe. So yeah, I love your talks. And someday I'd love to get in a debate with you, Mr. Vigia, and put you online. Maybe we could do a little interview and I can throw you up on the screen and we can talk about laws and morality and what is our moralities going forward? What are our laws going to be going forward? I see so many changes. I see so many people frustrated with the laws that exist now. So I'd love to talk about it. So we got Exploring Israel. He's here. Says, hi, Ian. Hey, how are you? We got, let's see what else we got. We got Exploring Israel. Here's a question. I'm working on new historical content. The question is, can I use my snap related to my content or will that get me in trouble? My snap related. Now I'm wondering if that's Snapchat or what is the snap refer to? Or it could be also like, short clips, but let's just talk about historical content for a moment, because I think it's important for people to understand. So there's two main roads to go when you're going to use historical content, meaning like historical videos or audio or images, and you want to put it on screen. And the one route is, listen, a lot of the stuff that exists out there is public domain. In other words, the photographs were taken in 1896. And so the copyright has run out. Or The people who created the photographs or created the audio say, listen, I want it to be in the public domain. And so as a result, they not only don't copyright it, but they include it on the internet with the provision that you can use it freely to talk about our history. And then the second way, the kind of route we can go is through fair use. And again, we're talking about the construct of taking someone else's, audio, video, or images without their permission, putting it on your YouTube channel, putting it on your TikTok channel, putting it on Instagram, and then being able to have it stay there by virtue of the principle of fair use. And fair use is an extension of our free speech rights. I believe in free speech across the globe. America has enshrined free speech in the First Amendment. And from that free speech right comes fair use. And what that is listen, citizens should be free to build upon the art of others, not to steal and to monetize, but to build upon, so that the people who originally viewed the initial art come to you to view your art, your extension of that art. And so what can happen with historical footage is, even if it's copyrighted, you can use it so long as you have a historical purpose. And that means, what does that mean? It means some sort of communication of information or opinions related to that historical footage, that historical photo. So that means commentary about it. You can talk about World War I, and you could talk about, the various battle strategies that were there. You can give your opinions on those. The one kind of proviso that comes with fair use is you can only use as little a portion of the borrowed art as is necessary to demonstrate your point. So you can't have a picture of World War I, a copyrighted photo, and have it on the screen the entire time for the entire hour video. You're going to have to use a little, snippet of it, 2-second shot, and then it goes away. And then you render your historical facts or your opinions. So the answer to your question, Exploring Israel, is, of course, you can use this content that's copyrighted that you don't own for historical content, but you got to make sure it's historical. It's or you can make fun of it with parody, but you got to make sure there's some facts, there's some commentary that goes along with it, for to be able to satisfy fair use, and also to be able to not get in trouble with YouTube, because YouTube adheres to the U.S. doctrine concerning fair use. I say adheres to, it's loosely adheres to it. It actually has expanded the doctrine of fair use on YouTube. So the answer to your question is yes. Let's see. We got Kevin Hawthorne. Good to see you. Good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida. I'm so glad to hear from you, Kevin. I think I saw you last stream. Let me know if you have any questions about your channel, about what your concerns are, what you want to do with your channel. I'm happy to help you out with that respect to that. We also got Narendran S. Hey, good to see you too. And we also have the plainest Jane. I love the name of your channel. That is so awesome. Well, I really appreciate you taking some time out of your Saturday to join us, because I think one of the things that are great about these live streams is, it's great that I can talk here, but the point of it is all the creators that are with us, that are small creators, medium-sized creators, we can all help each other. So I want to encourage you guys, as I go forward and I say something, and if you don't agree, please put it in the comment section. If you have a different take on it, please put it in the comment section. If I'm plain wrong, please let me know. And if there's a question out there that you think you can answer, don't worry about it for me. I'm just here to facilitate a time together, but answer the question in the comments. I would love to have everybody contribute to that. So that would be awesome. And then we also got Trip on Two Wheels. It looks like it's a motorcycle channel. I'm so excited. It says Ship Ahoy. Now, this is so fun. I love these comments because it's almost like a mystery that I get to figure out. So I'm looking at Trip on Two Wheels. There's so many different interpretations of that channel name. I could imagine a bunch of them, but one of them is that, you look at the photo and you see the motorcycle and it's two wheels. So I'm gathering you're a motorcycle enthusiast, but here's the little bit of the mystery. It says Ship Ahoy. So maybe Trip on Two Wheels is not only tripping, but maybe on the motorcycle, and he is on a boat. But anyway, welcome, Trip on Two Wheels. Good to see you here. Okay, we got that question out. We also have Stephanie Gallegos. Good morning, Ian. Good morning, Stephanie. Let me know if you have any questions about your channel or how to build your channel. Or maybe, and by the way, YouTube or other channels. I know we all have Facebook accounts, Instagram accounts, LinkedIn. Let's talk about all those things. How do we build our LinkedIn accounts? That has been a mystery for me. A lot of people, some creators have come to me. I have had some consults this week where they're going to be focusing. They're moving away from YouTube and they're focusing on Pinterest. Uh, I will say those have been mostly female creators because a majority of the Pinterest users are female. So they've said, why do I even spend my time going to larger platforms that have lots and lots of users when I can go to more specified platforms like LinkedIn for business or Pinterest for female viewers or users. And so that's really, really smart too. So let me know, Stephanie, if you have questions on that. We also have LPO Gamer Decade. How to tell a YouTube employee that their AI bot are broken and need to be fixed. Ah, interesting. I like that. I got to tell you about bots. I have a bot on one of my business's websites, and I would love any information you guys have on the best bot apps or programs out there, because it seems to me that there's two different molds for AI bots. First of all, I love the concept of AI bots, right? It's so good to be able to help people at any given time, right? 24 hours, doesn't matter what time zone you're located, you can get some quick information from an AI bot. But there's two types. There's the AI bot that's completely AI, and then there's the AI bot that has some AI, so it'll respond to some questions, but then the more detailed questions go to a human representative. Right now, my company that I'm working with just has the pure mode, the AI bot. There's no human interaction, and I'm thinking about whether or not I want to continue doing that, because some people are getting frustrated with not getting that human contact. And it's very interesting to me, as technological as we are getting as a society, we still want that human contact, even if we can't be in person. Even if it has to be on a Zoom call, even have to be on a telephone call, we still want that. So I am debating with that AI bot situation. Let me know your comments on that. Do you guys have any recommended AI bot programs or applications that we can install on a website? And that would be really helpful. And then let's address this thing. What I've done, and I do this continuously, is I am a big nerd. Okay, I really, really am. So a lot of my time is spent going through the terms of service, community guidelines, privacy policies, any type of what's it called, reasonable guidelines that come with the social media platforms. And as I go through them, I go through them with a fine tooth comb, and I find lots and lots of spelling errors, grammatical errors, just inaccurate information. And a lot of times I'm so surprised, especially YouTube. I'm like, they have more money than anyone on this planet, and they still have spelling errors, grammatical errors in their terms of service and community guidelines. So what I do is I go to the YouTube. I guess it's the chat. No, I'm sorry. There's the email account, which I can find and give to you, and I report it. And I don't have any expectation that they're going to take me seriously. I know that they have so many different inquiries from different people with probably much larger issues than I'm reporting on. But I just think it's kind of like my duty. If I'm going through and I'm seeing something wrong in the terms of service, or I'm seeing something wrong that YouTube is doing, I report it. I figure maybe they'd want to know it. Maybe there's someone out there that'll read it sometime. So I guess my best advice for you, LPO Gamer, is to find that email address, and I can certainly put it in the comments after the broadcast, and report it. Don't do it in a confrontational way. Just say FYI, or just so you know, I did this, and I just want to report this, just so you might want to help your customer services. And I think that's the right way to go about it. It's giving value to YouTube. You have to understand the context. YouTube gives so much value to all of us. I would not be here if it were not for YouTube. I'm so grateful for the fact that I can go, live on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube at the same time because of these social media platforms providing me with this service for free. So yes, I would just report it to the email address, and I can provide that to you after the broadcast. All right, we got Stephanie. I want to read stories written by others. Is this under the same rules of fair use, or if I change it up by commenting or another act? Well, Stephanie, thank you. Really great question. And also, this is a really great, category of content that's really blowing up right now. People are, increasingly at home. People have children, and they don't want the children to consume the kind of crazy candy type content that's out there on YouTube Kids or various, even on Netflix. I was talking to my daughter, who's 7 years old, about a Netflix show the other day, and it really wasn't appropriate for kids. So anyway, they don't want that, and so what they really want is wholesome content. And what is more wholesome than a nice person reading a children's book to everybody? And I got to tell you, just putting that aside for a moment, talking about the monetariness of it, you can make lots of money, AdSense revenue. What kids tend to do is they like a story, they listen to it, and they listen to it over and over again, and it's very comforting to them. So it's a very profitable area of content. The only thing that you have to worry about is COPPA, which of course I made my video on. And you have to understand that if you direct this content primarily to children, that you probably will not be monetized. You probably will not get comments. You probably will not get likes and dislikes. So that's no problem. Just make sure that your reading of this content appeals to general audiences. So I wouldn't read Elmo's ABC. I made that name of that story up. I don't really know if that's true or not, but a real hardcore children's book. But you could read The Secret Garden. You can read To Kill a Mockingbird or something, or Harry Potter series, which would appeal to a broad audience. And I think you get a lot of traction that way. The problem, of course, and this is where your question is derived, is that all that content, presumably, if it's recent content, is copyrighted. And so that presents a problem. So what a lot of people do out there is that they don't rely upon the material substantially. People love review channels. And what is the appeal of a review channel? The appeal is sitting in the content and enjoying that content. So why is there what is it, the show The Walking Dead, and then there was that show that followed it that's called Hanging with the Dead or whatever it's called? People love to just sit within a type of content. So what you could do is you could read a few passages from a popular story that would appeal to a general audience, and then you'd of course cite it and say, listen, this book is taken, or I'm sorry, this passages are taken from this person, copyrighted on this date, and you put it in your description section too. But then what you do is expand upon it. Maybe you could look up the author and how he or she got to these passages. Maybe they had an experience in Africa, or maybe they were a doctor, and you could annotate, so to speak, this experience, so people not only get the benefit of the original creator's content and your take on it. So I think that is the best way to not only get the viewership, but also to be able to use and comply with the laws of fair use under YouTube. I'm seeing more and more of this, especially on live streams. I've seen read-alongs on Twitch, on YouTube. Haven't seen it on LinkedIn. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, YouNow. I've seen it on YouNow. So all those platforms are great places to do read-alongs, and people love it. And you can make some good money with it. And on some of those platforms like YouNow, where you're paid in likes, so to speak, you can get a lot of likes. People really appreciate that. They like that value. And so anyway, just remember, short passages, commentary on front and back, annotate it, make sure you attribute it, you say where you got this information, and I think you should be fine. That would be a great content. Captain Jack, I don't understand how people can use copyrighted music on Instagram, but not YouTube. Well, Captain Jack, thank you for joining us today. I so much appreciate it. There's kind of two different ways. One is, YouTube has this new process in YouTube Shorts where you want to use copyrighted music. Woo! So long as it's 15 seconds long, you can use the most popular music in the world. So I encourage you to just do a test. Go into your YouTube mobile, click on the plus sign to add some sort of post, click on, I think it's Shorts. And then you throw, just throw a sample video clip on there from your camera roll, and then go into the, add music, the audio library for YouTube, and you'll find so much music. I mean, the most current out there. I just did my YouTube short on affiliate marketing, which was published yesterday, and I got my stuff from the YouTube library, and it was a very popular song. So you can use copyrighted music on YouTube. in that limited context. We can talk about how you can use copyrighted music on YouTube in another way, just in a moment. But then I want to move on to the Instagram part of your question. Facebook and Instagram have done their best, and mostly Facebook have done their best to create an audio library and license some popular songs with the artist. And what ends up happening is they don't say this explicitly in their terms of service, but they are allowing popular songs that are in the audio library, but are not taken directly from the audio library in their post. We're starting to see more of that. They're getting more lenient on that. I don't know what the license agreement is between Lady Gaga and Facebook. I'm guessing, though, that what's happening now in these new agreements is that Facebook is saying, listen, we're not going to be held liable if a creator takes your Lady Gaga music from a different source, but puts it in the post. If I'm explaining it correctly, because right now you can actually get popular music on Facebook's music library. But it used to be that you could only get it there, and then they would block or strike or take down if you took that popular music that was in the library from another source. In other words, you got it from YouTube or whatever, BitTorrent or something. So that's why you're seeing more lenient policies on Facebook and Instagram. Of course, with the advent of IG Reels, Instagram really put a lot of money into licensing popular music because they want to compete with TikTok, who is blowing the world apart with their popular music and your ability to stitch other people's content onto yours, which is just amazing. It really is amazing. No one has come close to TikTok as far as short form video. Nothing. So that's that. So it's frustrating. I know it's probably easier to get copyrighted content on Instagram and Facebook than it is YouTube, but with YouTube, remember the shorts. And then the second step is that YouTube does allow copyrighted content, copyrighted music on their platform, so long as you're adhering to the principles of fair use. And in general, when it comes to music, those fair use have to do with critique, commentary, parody, maybe teaching, maybe education. So if you can take a very small portion of a song, and you can make fun of it. In other words, you can, the chorus of the song is such, and you change it and make your own instrumentation. That's a parody of it. If your channel is all about commentary, you're talking about the best music in the world, you're talking about the best hip hop music, whatever it is, and so you take a 2-second clip of the song, that's enough to signal the song in the people's brains, and then you say, listen, I really like the feeling that the person put into this, the passion you can feel through hearing this lyric. However, I didn't like this one part, the beat is too fast. That is all commentary and critique. And then teaching, of course, comes in. Maybe you're teaching about music. Maybe Captain Jack, you are a flautist, and this particular piece of music has flutes in it, and you're saying, listen, this is how you get this sound out of the flute. Boop, play the 2-second clip of this, copyrighted song, and then you say, you do this with your fingers, or you blow in a certain way. So that is how you get it in. So we're talking about Instagram, Facebook, easier to get copyrighted content in, especially with the advent of IG Reels. We're talking about YouTube. You can get copyrighted content in 2 ways. One is Instagram, YouTube Shorts. And the second way is through, fair use, using short clips and doing commentary, critique, teaching, or parody. All right. Hopefully that explains it. I can certainly explain it more if it's, it's very nebulous, and I'm so sorry that it is. I wish it was easier. I love Mr. Vigia. Gosh dang it. I just love this guy. I can't wait to meet you someday in person. Government equals mind control and slavery. To a certain extent, that's absolutely true, right? I mean, I think government was put in place to regulate the rights of the many, I guess the individual and the many, so that we wouldn't have people trampling over other people's rights. So there is a certain component of mind control in our laws. And we're seeing in social media, and I don't think right now it's been kind of quiet when it comes to social media platform liability. We're seeing it in Europe. We're seeing it happening in Australia last year. Unbelievable, crazy stuff going on there. It's kind of creeping into America slowly but surely. Laws have been introduced to do away with the immunity for social media platforms in America, but they haven't been quite adopted yet. So we're still monitoring it. But I will say this, if you guys are planning on doing a review channel, any kind of channel that takes other people's content without their permission, and then you do something to it, right? Just understand that business model is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And what I mean is it's getting to the point over time where that will not be allowed. And the reason for that is that the big bad copyright holders, the music, companies, developers, things like that, they have gotten really angry at the social media platforms for allowing copyrighted content to run rampant throughout the world. And so they're saying, listen, if you want our ad dollars, you're going to tamp down. You're going to lock down your platform for copyrighted content. And if the social media platforms want to survive with those big ad dollars, they are going to comply. So what does that mean to you? They're going to allow less and less third-party content, less and less content from you and me. So no worries. Know that going in. Know that if you're going to do a movie review channel and you want to use movie clips that are copyrighted, just understand that that's going to be a limited window, and you're going to have to get creative. There are people out there right now. My favorite is Casey Stern from Kama Conspiracies or Vegetable Police, where he basically does reviews of books and cameras and all sorts of stuff. And it's so fun. And at the same time, he never has it. He never has the product. He might display the product he's reviewing in the thumbnail, but for the most part, he just talks about it, and he talks about it in a funny way, an engaging way. And as a result, you and I love to watch Casey Stern and his two different channels. So just understand that. Go and find those channels that actually talk about content that they don't own, and they don't display it. They just talk about it. So if there's a new book that just came out, you're really stoked about from Tony Robbins, why do you have to show the cover? You just say, Tony Robbins came out with a new book on how to, make more money in the internet. And it was a great book. I liked it. But I disagree with his point. He said at one point that I should do this. And I said, that's not right. That's engaging. So remember, there's lots of ways to getting copyrighted content in your live streams, in your videos, in your podcasts without actually taking the Tony Robbins cover and throwing it on the screen. So, all right. So let's look on to our next question here. And that is from Pika. I love that name, Pika. How is the birthday, oh my God, copyrighted? How is the birthday, oh my God, copyrighted? Well, first of all, I'm pretty sure you're talking about Happy Birthday, the song, and that is in the public domain. So I don't know exactly if that's copyrighted, unless I got an idea. Maybe there are versions out there by famous celebrities that they did copyright. And that's an interesting question about whether or not you can copyright your own versions of a public domain song. We will save that one for another time, but I think that's a good question. All right, Trip on Wheels. I love it, guys. It would not be an Ian Corzine live stream without, Hosea. I never know how to pronounce it. I'm so sorry, guys. If you guys can write it phonetically in the comments, that'd be great. But it would not be the same live stream because he reminds us about how much government controls our lives, how freedom of speech is dead. Those are things that we need to be reminded. So I'm happy to talk to Mr. Vigia. Another one. Government is the great fiction through which everybody endeavors to live at expense of everybody else. Frederick Bastiat. Good quote, guys. Your homework for today is to think on that for today. All right. Okay. All right. So now we got, LPO Gamer, can you get community guidelines just because of rude and hate comments? So I think what LPO is talking about is, can you get a community guideline strike if you have hateful comments in your videos, if you have rude comments in your videos? The answer to the question is absolutely not for the purveyor of the video, for the creator. You are not charged with responsibility for your users, your viewers' content. And by the way, that applies on all the social media platforms. Matter of fact, it's an extension of platform immunity laws. Way back when in 1998, especially with America, we were concerned that we wanted to proliferate social media platforms so that we could have actually free speech. We wanted to be able to have people to be able to put online whatever they wanted to, and then fight bad speech with good speech. Over time, as you know, especially from last year, that's completely changed. The social media platforms have been so fearful, and so they've just banned people, and anything that they think is not right, they've banned. So that's been going on, but one of the one components that's stayed, and it's represented in the terms of service for YouTube, Facebook, and frankly, and TikTok, is that you can't be liable for your users' comments. So while I would never encourage hateful content or hateful comments or rude comments. If they do occur in your comment section, you can't be held liable for them. The one exception to the rule is when you endorse them. And then what YouTube does is if there's an endorsement, like in other words, there's a hateful comment or a rude comment, and you say, yeah, I believe you're right. Those people are bleeps. That's when YouTube can come in and they can say, listen, that violates our community guidelines, because one of their biggest and the longest community guideline has to do with hate speech. They revised this community guideline probably 3 to 4 times in the past year and a half with the advent of all the things that went on last year. And it's super long now. So if you ever have time or the inclination, you should read it, because what constitutes hate on YouTube is a lot. It's way more than the First Amendment would ever restrict. It's way more than the other social media platforms restrict. So yeah, don't worry about them being in your flow, other than if you don't want that in your community, and you can always block those comments or delete those comments. I wouldn't want hateful comments in my videos. Hopefully I don't have them right now, but if you could go through them, that would be smart. But just to repeat, you can't be held liable for that. The people who made those comments could be punished by YouTube for violation of community guidelines. The guidelines don't just apply to your videos or to your posts. They actually apply to your comments too. And it also applies if you're brought onto a live stream and your comments in the video. While the channel name can't be held liable, you coming onto someone else's show could be violating community guidelines, and you could suffer, the 4 strikes and you're out situation, the warning, and then the 3 strikes and your channel's gone. So let's just do this. If you want to use social media platforms, just stay away from hateful content. If you want to have hateful content, that's your right, at least in America. But realize that YouTube, the mainstream social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, those are ones where there's no room for that type of content. You'll be booted. So there's plenty of other platforms out there that allow it, MeWe and Rumble and those. So you can check that out. And also Status. I'm really getting into Status. That's a blockchain social media platform. And right now it's not that robust. I would love if there was a live stream component. It's kind of like Twitter now. But check out Status. You can download it in the App Store, and they are all about free speech. And what's so good about Status is it's on the blockchain, so it's not centrally monitored. It's really peer to peer, and you can talk and do whatever you want to do in that platform. All right. Trip's just a nut. That's funny. Let's see. Not so edited videos. Welcome. But before I go to not so edited videos, I promised to answer this question. I did not see that I have an unbelievable super chat here. My goodness gracious. Thank you so much. Redar Boxing TV just pledged $125. Thank you so much for that pledge. God bless you, Boss Ian. One love from Philippines. Well, I love you too. I love the Philippines. I work with people from the Philippines all the time. Can't wait to visit. I've never visited the Philippines, but let me know in the comments where I should go. But thank you, Eridar Boxing. I really appreciate it. Please, since you made this special donation to the channel, let me know if you have questions. Let me know if offline, if you want to, voice some questions with me, and maybe via email. You can do that by going to iancorzine.com. The best way is there's like the first screen, you see, enter in your name and your email address, and that way I'll have it. You'll get my newsletter. You'll get the free content that I give out on a weekly basis. You'll be able to get my free book on copyright. And then I'll be able to interact with you if you have questions going on. So everybody knows, thank you so much for the super chats. They go straight into the channel. They do not go into my pocket. It is something that I'm really important. This is a really important thing for me to do, to get good information that's not available on the internet out there for you. The problem with social media right now and the social media platforms is they speak out of both sides of their mouth. And we've talked about it a couple live streams ago. YouTube makes a tremendous amount of money by allowing users to steal copyrighted content. They just do. The social media platforms make a lot. You can see it on TikTok. TikTok actually allows it, even though they say they don't. So that's speaking out of both sides of their mouth. On one hand, they make a lot of money when you put a long clip of a Star Wars movie on YouTube, and tons of people watch it, and they also watch ads. So that's one side of their mouth. The other side of their mouth is they say, no, we do not allow someone to take copyrighted content without permission and bring it to YouTube. So they do both sides. And if you look at the actual documents that YouTube puts out, they don't explain both sides. They just say one. And the reason they do that is they don't want to get slammed by the copyright holders. So understand that it's very difficult to get straight answers from the social media platforms. I spent my social media career on that. That's how I got involved. I started looking at the rules and I say, wait a minute. In a YouTube video, YouTube representative says they allow mashups and remixes. They actually say it orally in the video. Then I look on the terms of service, and nowhere is that allowed. And then nowhere is that represented in US or other global law. So how does this even make sense? I get this example a lot from people. I want to do movie review channels. I want to do song review channels. And I see there's 10 other channels doing the same thing. But when I put on a song for a minute and review it, I get slammed with a copyright strike and certainly a copyright claim. Why is that? And I tell you, I look at you in the face and I go, I'm sorry, but it's not fair the way it works. And so being that it's not fair to be able to be successful on social media, all you got to do is know that going in, and then you got to adjust your plan, right? And I got to tell you guys, I'm so sorry to be so pessimistic today, but I got to tell you that there are people out there with the larger, subscriber or follower accounts that they get carte blanche. They're exempt from the rules. You look at I don't want to name names, but if you look at a David Dobrik video, especially the one that just came out, it's rife with copyrighted music. Now, maybe David is famous enough now to get licenses for that music. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know the details of that, but maybe not. And maybe it's just allowed. Now, I hate to say it, but for you and me, putting a Beatles song on one of our videos is tantamount to getting terminated from YouTube at all. So it's not fair. We just have to take account of the blessings that we have, which is that we do have these platforms, and where there are ways around it. And the goal for me is I just want to give you those ways around it, and that is play super conservative with fair use. There's lots of creative ways to get copyrighted content in your videos and not get copyright strikes. It's evidenced by myself. I mean, go back to a lot of my earliest videos. You'll see copyrighted content on there. Now, I did my best to comply with fair use, and I've never got I've gotten a claim, but I've never gotten a copyright strike, knock on wood. Those claims that I did get, I was able to overturn because I know about fair use and I know about the law. But again, I was super, super conservative when it came to that use. And the big creators, they don't have to be as conservative. The reason why? Here's the reason. They make YouTube, they make Facebook, they make Instagram, they make TikTok so much money. And it's kind of like, all right, I know he's violating the law, but gosh darn it, I just made $2 million from him last month. So again, don't want to be too pessimistic, but I just want to let you know that's the reality. And Eridar Boxing, thank you so much for this wonderful donation. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be spending some time drafting some more legal documents, and I'm going to make some videos that I'm going to put out just to you guys for free, so that I can help you, navigate this unfair game of social media. So Eridar, thank you so much for that. It means absolutely a lot to me. Got another super chat. We got Cole. We got What the Dog Doing. First of all, I love that comment because I am referred to sometimes as the dog, usually in a pejorative, but sometimes in a cool way. What am I doing today? Just so you know, what am I doing today? I am working today. I'm going to be doing this live stream, and then I have a whole bunch of templates, legal templates, that I'm revising on my website so that I can help you guys use these templates so that you can do so many different things. So I have a collaboration agreement so that when you want to collab with, let's say, Cole here, you enter into a written agreement. The problem with not entering into a written agreement is that sometimes, I hate to say it, I don't know Cole, but Cole might do something with your collaborative footage that you don't want him to do. So if you don't have a written agreement in place, you got a problem. And you can't say, hey, Cole, we agreed upon this, because Cole's like, dude, I'm sorry, I plastered it all over social media. I made a whole bunch of money on it that I didn't share with you. So yeah, collaboration agreement. I did a affiliate marketing agreement. A lot of you guys out there have products or services that you want to sell. And the biggest and the best way to do that is through affiliates from you. However, you need a written agreement with those affiliates in order to be able to get paid and to pay them. So they feel it's fair. So I drafted an agreement for that, which will be on my website soon. Appearance releases. I'm having a lot of creators come to me and say, listen, I'm doing these videos. You're starting to see Mr. Beast, a lot of different videos where there's tons and tons of participants. They're all over the place. And the big David Dobrik problem where, he's filming all this stuff at a party and he has no written agreements with the participants. I mean, crazy stuff. I would never, first of all, if you're doing that content, pranks, fun, jokes, just a lot of people in your videos, awesome. You're going to get the views, but make sure you have my agreement between each of you. And that it's a page. It's just a page. And so at the beginning of the party, right, you just say, listen, guys, I'm a professional YouTuber here, and I'm sorry about this, but could you read this and sign this and date this? And what's so great about this little release is then you can use their appearance, their likeness in your video for any purpose that you see fit. And they promise that they're not going to sue you, and you're not going to get sued for content that's derived from that party, that time when you filmed. So, I mean, it's to me, and again, I don't mean to be arrogant or something, but it makes absolute sense. I would never get someone involved in my video, my podcast, my interview, whatever, without a written agreement. I would never want that. I'd be scared. I would be scared that 4 years down the road, they'd say, hey, listen, that video you got 1 million views on? I pull that. I hereby say that you use my likeness without my permission. And I'll say, dude, I did. You voluntarily came on the show and you said it was okay. And they say, well, where's it in writing? And I wouldn't have that document in my Google Docs to build up, say, boom, right there. And I might have to pull the video. So that's what I'm going to be doing today is I'm revising all those documents. Those are all available. Some are free, some for purchase at iancorzine.com. Just go to the legal templates section. And I'm in the process of putting together a YouTuber package, a TikTok package, an Instagram package where you can get a bunch of different agreements. And basically that's going to solidify your channel or your account against lawsuits, against being sued, against showing up in the media and then having YouTube demonetize you for something else someone else did. So that's what I'm doing. All right. Thank you so much, Cole. That means a lot to me. I want to go back to Pika. Oh man, dude, you're going to kill me because I'm losing your question here. Okay, here. This one was not so edited. Are content managers companies or single people? Well, it depends. By the way, as you get bigger, highly recommend having a social media manager. Used to be called a virtual assistant, and I guess it still is, but social media manager is even more important. There are so many different ways you can do this. I'm in the process of locating a new one. What social media managers do that a virtual assistant may not is they can actually edit podcast, videos, even your written words, as well as keep responses in your Facebook groups, keep your emails going, organize the whole thing. So social media manager they're worth their weight in gold. They can be companies or they can be people. I've worked with companies where the different employees do different functions. So there's a video editor, there's a podcast editor, there's even an audio editor. And then there's the typical thing where the person that keeps up your email list or that kind of thing. So it just depends, but I'm going to work with a single person. That's my goal, to find a new social media manager. If you could just know anybody, let me know. I need a full-time person to keep up. I'm just too busy with content creators. So yeah, that's what it is. And then they'll have access to your channels. I use Agorapulse for all my publication, and I can publish at the same time on different platforms. So I recommend Agorapulse. It's an awesome platform. So that's it. And I was just going to say, what was the thing I was going to say about the content manager thing? Well, that's fine. That's good enough. All right. So we're moving on to Venix Fortesque. Hi there. Just wanted to greet and thank you for what you do. Due to time difference, it's hard for me to follow all the live streams. Luckily, I got a chance to be here. Good vibes. Well, listen, Venix, I am so happy. I know it's so hard when I'm making the decision about when I do my live streams. It's like, okay, dude, what is the best time for the world? It's really, really hard. So I try. What I'm going to be doing, I'm recording this now. So I'm hoping that what I can do at some point is do mini edits of the most important points. My content going forward, just so you guys, this is my promise to you because I did not keep my promise before, is to give you only the most important points of all this detailed BS law. Okay. I used to do a lot of stuff where I throw the laws on the screen and we go through it. You know what? I don't think we have, I don't have time for it, let alone you. So when I do my content out there, I'm going to make sure it's just boom. This is what you need to know. Boom, boom, boom. And so what I'll do with some of these live streams is get them edited, and then only the most important points will be available. You can watch it on video whenever you want. So I'm just glad. Thank you for being here. It's awesome. We got LPO. Oh, the AI bot that I mentioned, our YouTube system, like copyright system and community guideline systems, they are broken. I agree. I absolutely agree. You're talking about the AI that reviews videos and audios for community guidelines and copyright strikes. They are, but I, I hate to bust your bubble, but the content. I mean the context is that it's so hard with content these days for computers to analyze the content. YouTube should just admit that right now and get more and more human reviewers, I think. But it's a really, really hard problem these days. And there's a lot of really, really crafty people out there who start 100 channels a day, and put copyrighted content. Their intent is to get quick views, and make some money off it. And then who cares if the channel is terminated? Over time, I think YouTube is going to get more smart, and they're not going to allow individuals to have more than 1 or 2 channels, maybe 3 channels, but they have to be verified. I'm thinking they're going to require verification in the future. So, but I know, I agree. It is broken. We'll do our best. Doug, my good friend, Doug, my question would be, which one? YouTube is multiple AIs. Oh, okay. So he's asking LPO Gamer about that. Yeah, you guys should talk online, and please put it in the comment section below. I would say that copyright is broken more than community guidelines. Community guidelines are much more sophisticated now. And they're also, YouTube can review, or can see, the AI can see facial expressions. They can hear my words. They can see my lips move. They can obviously read images, and they also can read text that's on the screen like this right now. So for the most part, I've seen community guidelines AI be better than the copyright. The copyright is tough. You got to give them credit. I mean, frankly, fair use is really hard to analyze by a computer these days. In 5 years, it may not be, but it is now. Question, and Not So Edited is so smart. Thank you, guys. When you have questions, make sure you maybe you spell it correctly, but you put question in the comments, and then I'll be able to pick it up quicker. Oh, basically you just did the same thing. Are content managers companies or single people? YouTube said in content managers policies. The answer is they can be both, like we talked about before. Content managers must have less than 30 abuse events in over a 90-day period. Okay, so what you're just saying is, I guess, content managers with YouTube's channels themselves. Yeah, we can talk about that more. I don't exactly know what you're talking about there, but yeah, they're broken. Okay, we've got another question from the Lucky Equestrian. I love that you're the Lucky Equestrian. Hopefully you've never been hurt when you've ridden a horse. Do you have legal advice for someone starting a YouTube channel? All right, let's start this whole stream again. So much advice. All right. And this advice goes to whether it's a YouTube channel or any social media platform, including TikTok. And that is that your goal when starting these accounts is to offer value. Okay. Value comes in one of 2 things. One is educational value, kind of what I do. And then the other is entertainment value. And I got to tell you, comedy trumps. And I don't mean to use the president's name, but comedy is the best. If you can do parody or comedy in your content, you will be suggested by the algorithms of the social media platforms. So if you have the ability to be funny in written word, in just audio, or in video, please accentuate that. Please add that to your repertoire for your videos, because people will begin to love your personality and they'll show up for you and not your content. And that's what you want. When it comes to things out there, people only remember a couple of things, right? They know Ian, probably forget my last name. They know Ian, and he's that social media lawyer guy. That's all they need to know, right? And so for the lucky equestrian, they know, I don't know your first name, but let's say your first name is Janice. They know Janice, and she's that equestrian person. All right. So that is the first step. The first step is value, education, or comedy. Okay. The next step is the next, purpose for your social media platform is to get engagement. And that is the only thing you should be concerned about. All right. Engagement means people, in YouTube terms, engagement means that most of your subscribers watch your videos. We'll be real simple about that. All right. So brands out there, and I work with them on a day-to-day basis these days, do not care about total subscriber or follower counts. Those all can be bought. So you see a lot of those people out there with 10 million Instagram, followers. I don't know all of them, but a lot of those are bought, or a lot of those are actual bots that just came in and started to advance their follower count. What really moves the needle, and where brands are going to pay big dollars, and they're actually doing it right now with micro influencers, is engagement. So if you got 100 subscribers, and in the first 24 to 48 hours, you get 75 views out of your video with 100 subscribers, you are going to get brand deals. That is going to move the needle. So what does that mean to you? What is your job then? Your job then is to offer value, either educational or comedy. Your job is to show up when you say you're going to show up. Your job is to think creatively and to not let your ego get in the way of your content. Just to say, listen, I found this new saddle that I really believe in. The reason I like it is because of blank. And maybe you could do some funny parody about it or something like that. And then over time, that engagement will grow, and you will be more and more attractive to brands. So value and engagement, those should be the primary things. Everything else is something that is super subsidiary, right? No one ever asks about the typewriter that someone used to write an old book. No one ever asked whether or not, a famous Sherlock Holmes book was written in ink, in pencil, or on a typewriter or something. What they do is they care about the content. So all these fancy cameras that I love and everybody loves, and all this technology that's out there to do live streams, that you can worry about that, but that's just something you worry about way, way far away. First thing is, what am I going to give these people? Are they going to come away from this thing laughing? If you can give them education and comedy at the same time, that's the best. That's the best formula in the world. But if you could just give them education, because maybe you're not as funny as someone else is, maybe like me, then just give them something. All right. And then what ends up happening is that you get to be kind of an ambassador, a representative of a certain subject area, a certain niche. And then people come to you and want your help on other questions, more specific questions than the larger questions. So all of you out there who are not actively doing your YouTube or your TikTok, I implore you, do it. But just create that plan. What am I going to give to people? All right. Forget about how much money I'm going to make at some point in time, but what am I going to give to people? How can I make it kind of funny and light? Because that's all people want. And then how can I keep them engaged? How can I keep them coming up? And if you do the funny and light content and you show up on time, you're going to grow. And then the third final point is, social media is a marathon. It used to be much quicker. It used to be there was less creators. And so as a result, if you did really well and you were funny and you had a good value proposition, you would blow up. Not so. These days, there are so many creators out there who are amazing. So what does that mean? It means a 7-year plan. I remember I got to meet Gary Vaynerchuk way back when, and I think Vid Summit 19. And the upshot from the conversation was, "Oh, I'm so glad you're doing this, the social media thing. You're prepared for a 7 to 9 year plan, right? 7 to 9 years. So I have a goal, I have a business plan, and that in 7 to 9 years, I'm going to be a certain point. And you got to have that same goal. And I know it's hard. How could you commit 7 to 9 years? But if you want to do the work, you want to have multi-million subscribers and followers, 7 to 9 years. Most of the work is free. Most of the work fuels you because of the good you're doing. So that's the best advice I think I have for people starting social media now. We got Michael VX. Michael, good to see you. You're always the live streams. Thank you so much. You're also my videos. I really appreciate it. My old subs, which are around 2K, did just sub for something and did not watch the videos. Is there any way to delete them or do anything about that? Yeah. So I think the question is, and this goes along with engagement. Gosh darn it, in the beginning days, you might have been tempted to buy views. It's cool to have 100,000 views of your video. If it's just bots, if it's people who don't care, it's not going to help your channel. And then there's also this weird problem that happened, not with me so much, but I had a friend who had happened to it. He was at like 8,000 subscribers, working hard, and all of a sudden he woke up one morning and he had over 11,000. And he looked at his, you can go into YouTube Studio and you can look at all your subscribers, who they are. And he looked at it and they were mostly bots. And he doesn't know what the heck happened. He doesn't know, he didn't pay for it. He doesn't know why it was there. But he was able to delete those bots and get back down to the engaged subscribers that he wanted. So yeah, you can do that. I certainly, I'm trying to think if I made a video on it. I don't think I made a video about deleting subscribers, but I can certainly show you, Michael, if you want to just send me a quick note. info@iancorzine.com, info@iancorzine.com. I can make a quick video about it, but that's the best way. And by the way, periodically do that. Periodically go through your subscriptions and go through the people that are subscribed to you and just call out. I do it all the time. Sometimes you get overloaded with all these people you subscribe to. And here's the thing, you're doing those people a favor. What often doesn't get talked about, and again, it's certainly not in the YouTube terms of service and the other social media terms of service, is dead subscribers, dead followers. I know it's cool to have 100,000 subscribers or something, right? But if they're all dead or 90% of them, then that's not cool. Then you're getting 100 views of your video, And what I mean by dead are people who were once touched by your content. One time they went to Michael VX's channel and they like, I love this guy. All right. And that was back in 2017. They haven't watched another video since. It's not their fault. YouTube didn't suggest Michael VX's videos to them. They just didn't see them. So they're dead. And it's cool. Michael has a subscription as a result, but why does he want that? He doesn't want to waste the time of other people who just, got something from Michael VX's channel and then moved on. He wants to be able to offer things to people right now who are engaged. So periodically, it's really important that you do your best to cull through your subscriptions and the people that are subscribed to you so that you can get to this number, this magic, I say 75% number that a lot of creators have. If you look at Emma Chamberlain, super successful creator, Gen Z creator, love her, super, very original from her editing. She started this whole editing craze of 1 second edits. Watch her stuff. Maybe you don't like the fact that she's doing fashion shows or kind of goofy stuff, but watch it for her techniques, which is she's very, very good on camera, and her editing, she still does herself, is amazing. But dude, I'm estimating she has 5 million, 6 million subscribers right now. And inside of 24 hours, there are videos that get 4 million views. There certainly are videos that in 24 hours get 2 million views. That is engagement. And that's your goal. Maybe you're never going to be 6 million subscribers, but dude, if you had 75 people, 75 subscribers watch your videos of 100 total subscribers, you got engagement through the roof, and you're going to get the attention of brands who are monitoring all these social media platforms through Social Blade and the other influencer platforms. So yeah, engagement's the key. LPO, let's see, just be it you will get a new viewer and a subscriber. Yeah, exactly. We got some comment. Okay, another question from Not So Edited. What the hell? The second factor of fair use, using material from primarily factual works is more likely to be fair use than purely fictional works, mean different than the first. Second factor of fair use, using material fair use than fictional works. Well, I don't exactly know if maybe I think I maybe described it wrong. I think the distinguishing factor that I have is that if you're using historical footage most of the time, or a lot of the time, that is not copyrighted, that is in the public domain. So it's easier to use borrowed historical footage. For one, if it's in the public domain, you can freely use it without attribution. And then two, even if you wanted to use the factors of fair use, it's much easier to do. So Yeah, if the categories of content that you want to use for your YouTube videos without permission, historical's up there. They're much easier. The second is Creative Commons. When you have content that you get on YouTube or the other platforms like Rumble that's Creative Commons, it's much easier to use. You're going to have much less headaches and problems going forward by using Creative Commons. If you guys want to learn more about Creative Commons, not only did I make a video about it, but also I can talk about it today. Just put a comment in the comment section. Oh, woo! I love affiliate questions. Benex Fortesque. I wish I could pronounce it like French, the way the French pronunciation. If I had an affiliate contract with Twitch and received money with subs without reaching the minimum checkout goal, is there any way to get some of that money back and terminate the contract? Yeah, there is. In the affiliate contract that you have with Twitch, there's not only a termination clause, which requires the payout from earned commissions before the termination, but also requires them to get out of it because it's I want to say it's 30-day notice situation. So just what I would do if you don't, I'm trying to think, a lot of you guys don't save the affiliate contracts. One little lesson to learn is that when you're doing affiliate contracts or any contracts relating to your online activities, just save a copy of the executed, meaning the contract with your signature and Twitch or whatever the social media platform or the brand is. Put it on a Google Drive document or something, just so you have it, because it's so good to go back. I find the biggest issues are termination and exclusivity. In other words, you agree on the price, you agree on the terms, you're being paid fine, but then you're like, dude, can I do other affiliate agreements with other brands? Because a lot of times there's exclusivity, especially the higher the payout. A lot of times they say, listen, if you're doing that affiliate deal with Sony, they're not going to allow you to do a Canon deal. So exclusivity and then termination. A lot of times you want to get out of it. Most of these contracts, especially with Twitch, I think is a 30-day notice. So you have to give 30 days notice before you can actually get out of the contract. But that's something you'd have to do when you review the contract. If you wanted to go through that with me, I'm happy to do that. Just go to iancorzine.com and go up to the upper right-hand corner and schedule a consult time. And we can go through that contract and figure out the best way for you to get out of it and also get all the money you're owed. Jeez. Oh, Pika, thank you so much. I am going to, can I screenshot this? I am going to screenshot this because a major portion of our show, a major character in our show is Jose Vigilla. Jose Vigilla. Thank you so much. And to Jose, thank you so much for putting up with my mispronunciation of your name. I'm so sorry. I'm actually in the process of learning Spanish. I'm still slow, but I really want to spend time in the Spanish world. So I'm learning it. And so I need to say this thing the right way. So Jose, thank you. And thank you for your patience. All right, let's move on to Mark. Woohoo. All right, let's see. Okay. Yeah, Mark Duquesne. Duquesne. So bad. Why is it that YouTubers have to create multiple channels with dedicated content? Does the algorithm not work with multiple types of content under the same channel? Yes, the answer is yes. You want to niche the heck down. So what we're seeing a lot of right now are large creators or creators on TikTok. There's two different things we're seeing. Large creators, so Mr. Beast, I think Mr. Beast has done it now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Mr. Beast has done a review channel, and there's obviously a gaming channel. And then I think there's a shorts channel. What we're seeing is a lot of larger creators. I'm thinking about Matt Hapoya, who's he's the photographer and videographer, YouTuber, really doing well. He's good friends with Peter McKinnon. Check him out. He does a shorts channel and his own main channel. And there's a thought out there that if you're doing shorts, you're appealing to a different audience. And I see it. I have not done it myself. I have done shorts and normal videos side by side. And I see there's an issue. A lot of people who appreciate my long form content don't really care about goofy things I do on shorts. So there is some argument that's valid there. The one thing I will say though is that a lot of the shorts get pretty good views. I think I have one that I made last week or a week before that has 25,000 views. And for me, That's amazing. So what's good about that is I get discovery. In other words, someone sees kind of the goofy, short I made, and they go, "Oh, that guy's kind of cool. He's a lawyer. Okay, good." Then they click some of my other content, and then they get me out there. So yeah, we're seeing a lot of that. And then we're also seeing is a lot, like I'm thinking about Attorney Tom. He blew up on TikTok, and frankly, he blew up on YouTube. On TikTok, he's the most popular. He's a personal injury attorney who does just kinds of kind of goofy comments, funny things, and really skilled at his TikToks. And what he did, and I want to say it's in January of this year, he just imported his TikToks over to a separate channel called Attorney Tom. He does some long form content, and then he takes just his TikTok videos. They look like screenshots just brought over. And I got to tell you, gets thousands and hundreds of thousands, millions of views. So yeah, having two channels, I think, can be valuable. You just have to make the decision for yourself where you want to go. For me, I don't have as much time to do two channels. I mean, I could not do that because I believe in regular content. But yeah, having multiple channels is great. And then putting that all aside, the shorts concern, which is the short versus long term concern. Yeah, the YouTube algorithm and the Instagram algorithm, for that matter, feeds on depth of content. They want to convert people that have a passing interest in Tesla. Oh, I like that Tesla car. It looks cool. To knowing about what type of nickel cadmium battery is in the new Tesla Model S Plaid. All right. So how they do that is they find channels that take them there. And then what people do is they get more and more engrossed in the content, and they keep on going down that rabbit hole. So the common advice, and the advice that I would give you, is to niche the heck down and err on the side of niching so far. So if you are doing a Tesla channel, don't just say, "Hey, it's Ian's Tesla channel." No, I mean, frankly, it's Ian's Tesla monitor channel. In other words, that monitor that appears on the front dashboard. That's all you talk about. You talk about the cool icons. You talk about how they changed the icons in the most recent update. You talk about, should you have a bright mode or dark mode? It's all about Tesla monitors. It's all about Tesla brakes. And then if you would like to do more on Tesla, you want to do Tesla upholstery, then you create a separate channel that is Tesla upholstery. And that's all going to do way better than if you did a massive Tesla channel. So yeah, it's niche down. That's how you're making money. Most of the creators that are super large now, they take, getting this audience. It's much easier to convert Mr. Beast fans to gaming and to review. So easy, right? So keep it separate channels. Mr. Beast is making so much money on his main channel, but he's making so much money on the subsidiary channels, which are getting similar views. So yeah, if you have the wherewithal in your business plan to do multiple channels, let's say you're doing the Tesla thing, Tesla monitor, Tesla tires, Tesla upholstery, Tesla brake lights, then do it. Because even if you can't make content on a weekly basis for each one of those, you can do it every 2 weeks or something like that. YouTube will reward you. So yeah, that's a huge, huge thing. Ron L, kind of like Fauci. All right. Okay. Don't exactly know what the context is of that. I'm not a huge fan, but let's see. All right. Let's see. Exploring Israel says, thank you for your answer. Thank you for joining us. David Michaels. David, what's up? Can you block certain countries from seeing your content? Yes, you can, actually. With the new upload process on YouTube, and this is just for YouTube. The other social media platforms, I don't believe you can, unless you're a high-level creator, an Instagram paid creator or a TikTok paid creator. But there is the ability, I believe, in the upload process now to be able to limit your content to certain countries, which, by the way, is actually important because a lot of people out there are making content that, they're really being passionate, they're stating their opinions, and they feel like in China, that's the big one right now, that they could get slammed. I mean, you do not want a channel that's talking about China infiltrating Taiwan, or the recent measures of being super iron-fisted when it comes to Hong Kong. You don't want that getting to Hong Kong or going to China, because actually there's a new law out in China that came out this summer, which would cause them to be able to arrest you and put you in prison for a minimum of 5 years. So yeah, there's real legit reasons to limit your content to certain countries, and you can do that on YouTube. So if you want to talk about it more, how to do it, just go to iancorzine.com, schedule some time with me. I'm happy to talk to you about that. All right, now we're moving on to Just Dude. I've seen Just Dude before. Good to see you here. How do I spot copyrighted content on free photo websites? Sorry if I asked before, but by memory. No, I think you did ask before, and that's absolutely fine. I forget all the time too. What you can do is you can do that backwards search. What you can do is you may have to pay for it, but you can download the photo itself, and then there are it's called reverse lookup, I believe. There are websites out there. Just type in reverse lookup, picture lookup, where they will scour the internet and they will find out if where that appears in certain areas. It's used mostly for copyright holders to find the stuff that's pirated, but you can do it too. And if you do it, it's simple. Then if you see it in other places where, let's say it's on a website and you can tell that the individuals in the photo are the purveyors of the website, then maybe I should stay away from that photo. But that's the only thing. You do have remedies against the stock photo provider. I would never counsel you to do litigation, but when you sign that agreement, one of the understandings is that you get this photo as first of all royalty free, and you get the warranty from the stock provider that they are providing you this photo clean of copyright concerns, or at least you're licensed to use it in the ways that you want to use it. So I think the first step, if you ever gotten a problem where you put a photo on a YouTube video or maybe on Instagram and someone complained to you, your first stop would be going back to iStock Photo or some Pixabay or some photo site and saying, listen, you provided me this photo with the understanding of this. Therefore, this is your problem to fix, not mine, especially if I paid good money for it. So that's, I say do your due diligence by doing the reverse lookup, but also understand that really if you're buying a photo, that it's really the provider's problem and not yours. So I'm sorry that happened to you. Tom Chan's out there. Hello, Ian. Hello, Tom. What are you doing? You're probably out in nature somewhere. I wish I was out in nature somewhere. We got Captain Foxtrot. Hello, dear. Hello, Captain Foxtrot. Let me know what you do on your channel. I really like your logo. It'd be awesome to see what's going on there. We got Don the developer. Question: if you're giving professional advice on YouTube, when is it worth getting professional liability insurance? Well, I have professional liability insurance, and I advise that you do the same thing. It's here's the thing. I do have a lot of creators that come to me that are coaches, that may be psychologists that no longer practice in person. They only do it in consults on Zooms or other professional mediums, and they're concerned about that. One is the first line of defense is that you get a contract with the people you're giving advice to. Now, if you're doing just, free, you're just, you're a developer. So you're going to maybe talk about your professional advice on developing an app or something. You just have to make sure that you state that you are not, your viewers are not the client of yourself. You also use the right words. So you don't say do this. You say, here's some options you can follow. Here's some suggestions for you. I experienced this and I did this. Maybe that would work for you. So you never get in a situation where you're directing someone to do something or giving your formal professional opinion. You never say, my professional advice is that you leave that guy because, he's treating you bad. No. You just say, listen, this guy has done some bad things to you. This is my experience with that. Here are some suggestions. You leave him, do this, whatever. So always talk in a kind of a suggested format, and then also try to do what we do in day-to-day life, which is ask questions. Sometimes the answers of your viewers in the comments, or maybe you're doing it live, will actually explain what your answer is to the question via themselves. So those are key points. One is if it's something where you can actually have the viewers sign a disclaimer and a waiver, that's great. I have that on my website, iancorzine.com, if you want to download that. But the other thing is try to talk in recommendations, suggestions. Don't give formal opinions. Don't give advice. Don't give directions. That'll help you from getting caught up in the law. And then go to a commercial insurance broker and say, listen, I'm a developer, I'm a psychologist, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor. I'm concerned. I want to have some liability protection. Do you have professional liability insurance? Ask for them to give you quotes. That's going to be there to protect you in case something's bad happens. Now, even if you take all those precautions, just so you know, at least in America and frankly in England and Australia and Canada, there's no prohibition on someone suing you. I mean, even if it's false, even if it's frivolous, people can still sue you, and that's still going to create a headache in your head. So you can never guarantee anything. All you can do is do your best to get written contracts and to get insurance backup. Those are the two things. And then I might add to that using a business entity. So if you're doing your work, like my work is done through a LLC. So my LLC owns my channel. My LLC owns everything I do with respect to online media. And the reason I did that is because if there's ever a real problem, I will only be held for liability to the extent of the value of my LLC. It will not be connected to my other business interests or my home and my possessions. So those three things: insurance, written agreements, and business entities are your three lines of defense against people hurting you. And again, I don't mean to plug, but I'm just trying to give you information. At iancorzine.com, I have all those lines of defense. In other words, I have the written agreements you need with your clients. I have a coaching agreement, which I just drafted actually this morning, which we use the term coaching as opposed to professional advice, but coaching agreement, which you can download. And then of course I have LLC operating agreement and other LLC docs so you can create that to be the main entity that purveys all the different offerings you have. And then of course with insurance, I can give you advice on that. I usually just refer out people to various brokers I have that I use and that other creators have used that I can give you recommendations on. If you need those recommendations, just send me an email at info@iancorzine.com, info@iancorzine.com. All right, what's going on here? I just missed it. All right, we got Frank Foddy. How do I stop Google Shopping from selling designs stolen from me? I filled out reports proving it's my work, did everything they asked. It's now 2 weeks. I'm losing sales. It's very frustrating. Well, first of all, I want to say, I'm sorry, Frank. You're not alone on this. This is happening all day long. Google has been overrun with these requests. The reports are great. That's what you do. I think they're technically referred to as takedowns with Google. What you can also do is you can do your own Digital Millennium Copyright Act takedown notice. And what that is that usually is an email. It could be written in a letter directing Google and its affiliate websites to immediately take down your copyrighted content. That's embedded in U.S. law, and Google and YouTube, Alphabet, are obligated to follow that law. Now, I've had more success when I've sent in my own DMCA takedown notices for creators than I have with the reports. I will say this, that even though it's frustrating, you're losing sales and it's been 2 weeks, but that's actually not long in terms of what Google does. They usually take their own sweet time. And it's not right. They have to take down the content in a reasonable time. I would argue 2 weeks is not a reasonable time, especially when you're losing sales. So the only thing I would say to you is one, keep up with monitoring those reports you've made. I would tweet at Google or YouTube or whatever the platforms are, Google Shopping, and I would explain your story in a short amount of characters. I would go to the Google Shopping subreddit and I would put your story there, and I would hashtag trusted flagger and see if you can get the attention of YouTube, Google flaggers, trusted flaggers, for their input. And then the final thing I might do is actually send in a DMCA takedown notice to the Google help email. I would label it just like you did here. So nice. You did Quest. I would say DMCA takedown notice and then the date for when the copyright infringement occurred. And then send that in via email. You can get the language for that from my website, iancorzine.com. So. Mr. Mindworks, where do you find social media managers and how do you protect copyright from them? I love it. Where do you find social media managers? Well, I've found them online. I've found them through referrals. I found them through various websites. There's VA for hire websites all over the place. And you can do Upwork and Fiverr. You can find definitely a lot of social media managers there. You'll find managers from around the world. And my experience is that it doesn't matter so long as they can speak your home language, English or Spanish or whatever. they can do a great job. And you'll find in different areas of the country or different areas of the world that they charge very reasonable rates. So that's where I find it. Upwork, Fiverr, word of mouth, and then just Google searches or DuckDuckGo searches, and then protect copyright. It's easy. You enter into a service agreement, and I have them on my website, iancorzine.com. There's also referred to as independent contractor agreements, and in those agreements, it says that I retain, meaning me, the hirer, retain all rights to my intellectual property rights, and you protect them. If they ever get in a situation where they violated that, you can withhold monies owed to them. You could even sue them if you need to. But the other thing you can do is you can have liquidated damages built into the contract so that they actually owe you money for doing that. So that's the best thing to do. And then the other thing is, before you do that, though, just make sure that the person you hire is not going to do that, is trustworthy, because a social media manager is going to have access to a lot of your passwords, a lot of your voice to the world. So you really have to be comfortable. I have found with social media managers and VAs in general that a lot of them who are worth their salt will do a free trial run. In other words, listen, I do podcasts and I do videos on YouTube. I'm not going to pay you, but I'd like you to do an edit for me of the podcast, and I'd like you to do an edit for the video, and I want to see your work, and then I'll make the decision whether to hire you thereafter. So that is a very common practice. Some of us feel kind of guilty not paying them for this trial, but they're willing to do it. If they're worth their salt, if they're great, then they are going to be willing to do that. People who say, listen, I got to be paid up front, you can move on from them. There's tons and tons of people out there who don't have enough money, who are starving, who need this help, need this work. So don't get hung up on, super high. We're seeing lots of VAs charging exorbitant amounts of money out there right now. You don't have to pay it. There are plenty of people out there who work for $15, $10 an hour, whatever it ends up being, and they'll do great work. And so, yeah, that's the thing. Lifeholics Fishing, welcome. I love fishing channels, blowing up right now. Catch and Cook, love to watch it. I work at sports expos. As people walk by, we show off the products and I get customer reactions. Do I need to get a written consent to post the footage and let the company use it for ads? Let me just say it very clearly. Maybe the microphone's not going to reach. The answer to the question is yes, absolutely. You definitely need to get permission. And when I say that is, most people don't. And the problem with that, of course, is that you're just opening yourself up to lawsuits, right? There's so many different rights that are violated when you just take someone's picture or their video and you do not get their release of it, to their legal rights relating to it. Now, there's two different things I want to make sure I distinguish from. It is perfectly okay if you're in a public environment to take video and capture people's faces as you're panning across this sports expo. You don't have to get permission in that case. You don't even have to pixelate out their faces. You might be advised to do that. We could talk about that more, but you don't have to. What we're talking about now is when you're actually taking, this is not the right word, this is more of a legal word, but you accost people. In other words, you take them aside and you say, listen, this is a cool product. I want to, would you like to use this? Here's how it works. And then you get that reaction out there. Absolutely. I think the best way in that situation for you to get permission, the right one, is to get their permission before you actually show the product. Because sometimes you're not going to want to, sometimes they're not going to want to release what happens later on in time. So in other words, they have a crazy reaction or something like that, which is really going to get some good attention on your video. And you don't have the waiver signed. So you explain to them, this is what you're going to do. You're going to show off this product. You're not going to hurt them. They're not going to whatever. And then make sure they sign off. You can get this appearance release or this videography release on iancorzine.com. I have it, or interview release. There's 3 different ones. Then you get that signed before you actually do the reaction, film it, and then you can rest easy at night, not worrying that someday later on, sometime is going to say you violated my right to privacy. You defrauded me. You used my likeness without permission. All that stuff is boom, signed off, dated in a Google Doc, saved it on your company's website or company's computers, And then if they ever have a problem later on, if you ever get contacted by a lawyer, your first response is, boom, I got an appearance release. I got an interview release here, boom. So yeah, remember that. Obviously do that, and I can help you. If you ever need to talk more about what are the techniques you can use to get people's okay on that, I've worked with a lot of creators who do prank videos, and that is just part and parcel of their lives. Everything has to be an NDA, has to be disclosed. So yes, that is the right way to go. Oh, we got, who is this? It's Diana. All right, Diana. Diana recently, let's put her on the screen. Thanks for everything you do. Diana, who does online course resources, recently purchased a privacy policy from my website. And I want to say thank you so much, Diana. I appreciate that. When you're doing affiliate stuff, you got affiliate links in your Instagram posts, got affiliate links in your LinkedIn posts, you've got to have a affiliate disclaimer. And I provide that to you free of charge. There is a link. Well, I'll put a link in the description section. There's also a link in my most recent video about affiliates. So if you just go to that, watch that video, you'll get that link and you get it for free. And all you got to do is include this short paragraph in all of your posts that have affiliate links, and then you're going to be covered. And then, of course, you have to have a privacy policy. And you can get that on my website also. And that's what Diana, I'm so thankful, recently purchased. And what that is you cut and paste that into a separate page on your website. You include that URL in the post so that you are super transparent to the people who are buying your products or services. And you're just telling them, this is what I collect. This is the personal information I collect, your name, your address, your email, your phone, whatever it is. And this is what I do with it. And this is, I don't share it with third parties, or maybe I do. Whatever it is, at least you have a clear policy, and that will comply with global law. I'm talking about CalOPA, the California Online Privacy Protection Act. I'm talking about the GDPR. I'm talking about Canada's PIPEDA law, and also other global laws out there that are designed to protect the privacy and the personal information of social media users. So, Diana, thank you so much for joining us today. I'd love to hear more about what you actually do in your work, the online course resource. Are you preparing online courses for other people? Do you do your online courses? Do you do online courses about how to make online courses? Let us know. I would be happy to help you get the word out about what you do among the people that are joining us today, because online courses are a great way to make money in the social media atmosphere. You can command sometimes many thousands of dollars depending upon the value you deliver. And what's so great is that people can learn in the privacy of their own home. So Diana, if you do that kind of stuff, let us know. You can even, I think you can drop a link in the comments, and then we will hype you. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. It's going to go to the channel. All right, now let's move on to a couple more questions here. Oh, okay. Oh, here we go. I love this one. Anime cheat. And this is a big deal because we're starting to see all these expose videos, right? It used to be review, and it still is review to a certain extent, but now it's expose. All right. Question. Someone made an expose video and none of it is real, and my friend has been trying to take it down since it's about him, but nothing has happened yet. So I think the real question is here, someone made an expose video. What is an expose video? It's in a video where you criticize the creator. You potentially release either public information or private information. That's called doxing about the creator. And then you try to make them look bad. All right. So YouTube does not have an explicit law against or rule against doxing. YouNow, TikTok, at least those platforms do have an actual rule that says you are not allowed to dox. So what you do there is you report the video, you flag it as violation of community guidelines, potentially of terms of service. So that's one thing you do. The next thing you do is you appeal to the person who made the video, and you say, "Listen, here are the points you made. Here are the inaccuracies. I would respectfully request that you take down the video." It doesn't matter about what the response is, other than you got to keep that response because that's something that's important for later on. I would not advise, and I've had multiple consults about this where people say, listen, I went out and I made an exposed video on him. I would not advise that. That is exactly why people make exposed videos. They want to trade upon your notoriety. All right. So when you see those exposed videos out there on YouTube, what are those people doing? The people are trying to get views. They don't really care about this person. They don't. But what they want to do is they want to capitalize on the notoriety of someone to get them views. So it really doesn't matter what they say. I mean, they just say negative things and people will watch. So understanding that concept, you can kind of see through it. In other words, if they're trying to get notoriety, they're trying to get measured emotional response, not only from viewers, but also from you. And the longer they can keep the controversy going, the better for them. So if you, I mean, we see it in the multi-level marketing thing. My gosh, I don't know what's going on there, but some person says, I don't like multi-level marketing and makes a video about it. And then a lot of times they say something bad about a multi-level marketer. And then that multi-level marketer gets all their friends and family and viewers and boycotts, attacks comments, makes their own video that exposes the other side, and it results in a whole blow up that no one ever envisioned would happen. And the person who made either came back or started the whole thing is stoked because now they had 100 subscribers, and now because you got involved and you have 100,000 subscribers, now they got 80,000 subscribers, right? So you just did their work for them and you shortcutted them. So with exposed videos, the first step is report them. The second step is to send in a email to YouTube or the other social media platform. The other is you can tweet about it to @Team YouTube. You can do a subreddit post about your problem, trusted flagger. And then the other thing you could do is look at the video expose. Much of the time, there is use of your content that's copyrighted because when you create content, it's automatically copyrighted. There's no need to register it. It's copyrighted. But you'll see your stuff in their video, in which case you can flag them. You can get a copyright claim. That's the subtle way of doing it. There's a couple of my creator friends. What they do is they don't attack or complain. They just do a copyright claim, and any money that video makes exposing Ian Corzine or whatever it is, I get. So you can do that, or you can pull the ultimate card and file a DMCA takedown notice, which is very easy to do. Just type in YouTube DMCA or TikTok DMCA. It'll take you to a link where you just fill out the form. And under the law, they're required to pull down that video. So those are the key things you can do there. I just caution you guys with exposed things. One, reconsider or at least consider before you start being an exposed channel. I just think that it's an endless negativity loop that you're not going to be happy with. Yeah, you may end up with 1 million subscribers as a result, but you're locked into that. It's hard to pivot out of being an exposed channel. There's been some people that have done it, but it's hard to do, and you're just locked into negativity. So I would consider not doing that. And then the other thing is, if you are the subject of being exposed, take a deep breath, understand that your ego has been flared up. Maybe it's not right, it's not fair, but most people don't care. I hate to be so negative, but most people don't care about it, right? And if you make a more big deal out of it, you're increasing the chance that people will start to care about it and will start to believe it. Most people know you from your content. They trust you. Your engaged viewers are not going to believe these stupid expose videos. And so just take a deep breath. And then, if you ever are going through this, which I have a lot of consults about, just feel free to go to iancorzine.com and get on my calendar. Just book a consult. We can go through it together. I think every one of the consults I've done where there's been an exposed concern, a question, we've been able to reassure the creator. We've been able to formulate a plan so that creator is rehabilitated. He's back up making good money. So, consider it. iancorzine.com, get on my calendar. All right. We got a super chat from the Revelation Christian. Thank you so much, Revelation Christian. I appreciate it. I've seen you on the live streams before. Really, really appreciate you showing up. All right. Oh, it's a repost. Okay. Sorry if I missed your question. Can I comment on current news events on my blog website and use the photos from news media as a reference? The answer to the question is absolutely yes, you can. You certainly can do that. Matter of fact, that is a absolute fair use of copyrighted content that falls into Section 107's news reporting function. Just make sure that you report accurate facts about whatever this news event is. And it sounds like you're going to do it in writing, but maybe you do it on a video form. The other part to it is that you do some commentary, some opinion type stuff around it. Use only as little of content as possible. So if it's a news event, let's say it's a riot or it's a a march or something like that, the viewers don't need 10 seconds of it. The viewers need 2 seconds of it. They see it. Oh, yeah, there's a march on Washington. Okay. Then they need you to report it started at 7 a.m. It was started by this group. It ended on this date. This person got hurt. This thing changed, or your opinion about it. I don't know why they're rioting. I don't know why they're marching. I don't believe in their cause. So that's your commentary. That's your opinion. That is a fair use and will not get you copyright strikes or claims. So thank you so much again for the contribution. All right. Well, thank you, Lucky Equestrian. I'm happy to answer your question. Let's see if I can go all the way. I'm just trying to find. Thank you, lovers of annuals. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. We got Type 1 Talks. How are you? Good to see you. I can't wait to hear about your channel. Give me an email when you get a chance. We got LPO Gamer. If Kappa ever disabled my comment, my comment on my YouTube video, Kappa don't mess with YouTuber from Miramar. Well, and that's right, LPO Gamer. I think you're from Miramar. I want to visit your country someday, but yeah, Kappa. I don't know what your content is. I think it's gaming, which is a general audience type content. So I don't think you should ever have a problem with Kappa, but let me know if you do. Mr. Mindworks, I'm in Vancouver, Canada. I love your city, one of the top cities in the world. I'm a big snowboarder, so I go to Whistler, and I usually have to go through Vancouver to go there. So I love Canada. I can't wait till we can freely visit Canada. Usually I'm in Canada at least once a year, and it mostly has to do with the snow because you guys have the best snow, and you have the best people, the most friendly people I've ever met. I guess second only to Costa Rica, which I recently got back from. It's an amazing place. MXZ, I'm currently being stalked and hunted down on TikTok, and a person is trying to take down every single one of my TikToks and ruin what I've built up there. Any advice? Jeez. Well, first of all, I'm sorry that you're going through that. That sucks. Now, when you say takedown, are they filing DMCA takedown notices? That's one thing. Or are they doing counter expose type videos? That would be an important question. I think that the first thought is, what kind of content are they doing? Can you file your own DMCA takedown notice so they can take down their content? Are they doing comments that are hateful or in some violation of TikTok's guidelines or terms of service? If that's the case, you can flag and report those to TikTok. Obviously, there's always a legal option. I mean, I never usually like to bring it up because it costs many, many thousands of dollars. But if you're ever in a situation where someone is trying to hurt you, trying to cause you damage intentionally, and they are causing you damage, and the things they're saying are false or fraudulent, then you can sue for defamation. So for a lot of you larger creators that may be, losing a lot of money as a result of falsities out there, you can bring a lawsuit, and you'll see those from time to time in the news. It's just that you got to drop, many, many thousands of dollars. The damages have to be provable, and they have to be big in order to warrant a legal action. We got LPO back from Miramar. Have you heard a YouTube hacker called SureBase12? He hacked YouTuber, make gotcha life video about how to react to this. I have not stoked by that. The guy's going to get taken down, I think, at some point in time. Don't think it's a proper use of YouTube. So I'm hoping that guy gets taken down. We got Good Day Playing. All right. Will buying a sync license or other allow monetization of my video? I have a lot of recorded outdoor videos, but would like decent background music. So sync license and a mechanical license are required generally for you to have full rights to music that you put on your YouTube videos or your other social media accounts. So yes, I will say this though, that it's unlikely that you'll go through the YouTube upload process without a claim or potentially a copyright strike or a block on the upload, because the sync license and the mechanical license has to be included in the description section. So what I do when my creators want to use super famous, let's say they're good friends with the band Incubus, and they want to use an Incubus song, they either pre-warn YouTube through their MCN, a lot of them are represented by a multi-channel network, or they send an email with their YouTube representative, or they do their best to transform the song and avoid AI copyright detection. Then They include a Google Doc. Remember, you got to keep on the same platform you're on. So you never want to draw people off a different property, like your website. YouTube wants Google links in there, and Google and YouTube links in their description section. But you have a link to Google Doc, which includes that sync license, that mechanical license, and it's like a PDF document or whatever. So YouTube can look at that. I also put in the description section, I own the rights, or I have the licensing rights to this song as evidenced by, and then have those links so that so a human checker can see it. What most of the time happens if you have a mechanical and sync license for a song and it's totally legal, you have the right to do it, is it gets blown up in the upload as a yellow $sign, and then you have to appeal. And when you appeal, you can upload the documentation that you have also. And I've been successful. Not many people have that kind of permission, but I've been successful getting those overturned. YouTube has no problem if you have permission to use copyrighted content. Absolutely none. They would rather have popular, music with big audiences than not. So they're cool. You just have to know how to do it. Good Day Playing. If you want to talk more about how you technically do it and what the songs are, the specifics of your channel, there's so many different considerations. We can talk. Just go to iancorzine.com and set up a consult. Fully divorce. I love it. Checking ego at the door is a good point. Most people go on with their normal daily life with so many things. And as a human beings, we just stress over some really unnecessary noise. Thank you. Folly Divorce. Looking forward to checking out your channel. Sounds cool. But that is I think that's good advice for life. And it's certainly good advice for social media. I had a consult, I think yesterday and I'll be real brief because I see another comment here, where the thought was, we talked about ego and we talked about copyrighted content, putting it on social media. And I said, this person was talking about getting copyrights and trademarks, maybe even patents. And I said, maybe 10 years ago, registered copyrights, registered trademarks was really kind of a good idea. They actually had a deterrent effect. But in our meme culture, which started around 2006, the deterrent effect is minimal. Matter of fact, trademarks kind of are only worth, the certificate that they're printed on that you can have on your wall. If you don't have the money to enforce your copyright infringement claim or your trademark infringement claim, you're just not going to do it. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean you give up and you're pessimistic and you say, oh, social media sucks. It just means that, think about this analogy. It just means that when you put up like a flyer on a telephone pole, right, you don't have any expectation that that flyer is going to stay there for a long period of time. You put it up, dog walking services. It could be torn down in an hour. It could be torn down in a day. The rain could fall on it and it could, shrivel up and be gone. You just did it to get some initial attention. So maybe you can get some dog walking services. The same is true on social media. You need to check your ego at the door. You need to make sure that what you're putting out there is only just a little glimpse of you at one period of time. And it could be edited. It could be uploaded. It could be abused. You can't control everything. So what you do in this new world of intellectual property is you fight theft with new ideas. You never rest on your laurels. You got this trademark, which is Fully Divorce. So good. No one can use the name Fully Divorce. But what is Fully Divorce? It's so many different things. I don't know for sure, but it could be consultations on divorce issues. It could be legal services. It could be, therapy type services. It could be legal document production services. So fight people taking your stuff by coming up with new ideas that are even better. So you're never wed, you're never beholden to one piece of intellectual property, which could be stomped upon. I got to tell you, it's going to happen. So I think that's the advice to take, going forward with social media. TikTok show says, this is hi. And I say hi back. That's great. All right. So we are rapidly, let's see if okay. Oh yeah. Diana says here. Diana has another comment. Now I just need terms of service. Okay. I will get those to you, Diana. I'm sorry that I have not. I actually do online course consulting, coaching, and help people build a roadmap with deadlines. I will be opening my own membership for Creators Course in July. So excited. Well, Diana, you have been a founding member of our channel. You're here all the time. We want to make sure we support you as much as you can, or as we can, So please keep up with this. Keep showing up as far as your online course consulting, and show up in our feed, and we will make sure and hype you so that other people can learn from you and make money and be able to support themselves online. I have a limited time. I'm actually supposed to be out of here on a consult. And I want to make sure I get some questions here. I'm missing so many questions. I'm sorry. We got Hello Gaming, Helios Gaming. What can I do if a YouTube channel has been using a video to promote an affiliate product for so many years? It's so annoying. Just if it's you, then file a DMCA takedown notice with YouTube. Just type in YouTube DMCA, boom, you can file it and it'll be taken down. Serendipity Bakery. Sorry, that's a separate shorts channel. Laugh out loud. Yeah, again, separate is good. So if we have an LLC for our main channel, how does that affect a separate sports channel? If you were super rich and have made a lot of money, I would have an LLC per channel. And the reason why is you have different liabilities for each of these different channels, but it does cost money to have multiple LLCs. Sometimes you have to pay a minimum tax. In California, it's $800 a year. So you should make at least $800 out of your business endeavor. And there's taxes that are involved. Besides that, there's formation costs. I have a great provider for corporate LLC services. If you want, I can put a link in the level. It's peopleschoice.com, peopleschoice.com. But yeah, if you have the means, it should be, if you own property, and a separate LLC per property. If you own businesses, separate LLC per business. That way, if something goes wrong on a channel, there's a defamation claim, you're sued, they can only sue to the extent of the assets in that particular channel. That's it. So your other channel that maybe is a shorts channel or sports channel or whatever it is cannot be affected. So let's see. Let's see if I got everything here. Any more questions, guys? And then I got to go. See here, Just Dude, I used to work for a company that did online interviews about common opinion. Person showed up 2 years later and threw a tantrum, and we had to take down the video. Yeah, after the police came. That's absolutely unbelievable. I cannot believe that's the case. But that's the reason why you need releases, appearance releases, model releases, videography releases, podcast releases, things you can get on iancorzine.com. All right, guys. Listen, it has been a wonderful time. This has been one of the best live streams I've ever had, and I'm so grateful that I had it. I just want to say Good Day Playing says thank you, and I'm really happy that that's the case. By the way, if at any time you want to get a hold of me personally, go to iancorzine.com, set up an online consult you just click on book a consult, get on my calendar, boom, I'm there. Go to the legal template shop so you can get all the templates you need for your online business, so it'll protect you, so you won't be taken down, so you won't get lawsuits. And then otherwise, let's see each other. Plan on doing a live stream on this coming Wednesday. Have some upcoming videos on various social media platform terms of service. So we'll talk about that more. And I love all of you.